Okay, hi. My name is Szymon Sikorski, and what I will try to talk to you is about the communication. It's about the change we are living in, but it's not going to be about the social media, but you'll see this. First of all, I want to introduce you Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. You know who it is? Who it was? He lived in the 17th century. He was a philosopher. He was a mathematician. He was an astronomer. Yes, astronomer. He was an astronomer, and he is said to be the last man that had all the knowledge of his times. He lived in the 17th century, and he could describe the world when he was living. We don't need to. It's impossible today to have all the knowledge because we don't need it, because we have pen drives. We have pen drives when we are storing our knowledge, when we can store more than probably 17th century libraries had books. We live in the times of data, and that's what I'll try to tell you. We are creating as a society lots of informations. These are exabytes. We are creating every year thousands of exabytes. Exabyte is 10 up to 18 of data, of knowledge. How are we doing this? How can we live in such a world? And the second thing is that the amount of digital information that we create, that we are making, is increase very fast. It increases tenfold every 5 years. And this is picture taken from the Economist, that our society today, we cannot store the data we are producing, because I don't know if you know this. I'm gonna read some statistics that every second we are sending 10.9 million emails. We are creating every 20 hours of YouTube movies every minute. What else? Every household creates about 375 megabytes of data daily. This is the world we are living right now. This is lots of information. This is the lots of data we need to know. What else? Do you remember the diskettes? 3.5 inch. It's every day we are sending about 63.9 trillion diskettes of data per day. And we are sending this through our mobile phones only. What about computers? What about internet? What about all the data we are sending to each other other way? What else? Preparing this presentation, I was thinking what I was doing at 9 o'clock, for example, when I wake up Saturday, what I was doing 10 years ago. I was reading a paper. There was no Facebook. There was no Google+. There was no Twitter. I could text my family. I could phone someone. I could read news on internet, but using the browser, using Onet, using gazeta.pl or something else. Today, I am waking up, I am running my computer, I am checking my Facebook, checking my emails, I am checking my RSS feeds, and I got thousands of sources of information. Every day, before my breakfast, I know everything what's going on worldwide. The question is, what for? Or do I need it? But this is not the question I wanna ask you. It's just the way it is. We live also in wiki times. Our attitude to knowledge has changed. Our attitude, due to Wikipedia, for example, it's much easier to get the information, to get the knowledge, and we could have it anytime. There is, 20 years ago, it was a problem with the access to the knowledge. Today, this is not a big deal. Today, the question is how to manage this knowledge, how to use the proper knowledge. The second thing, for example, due to the wiki, is the politics nowadays. Politics also had changed. We are living in WikiLeaks time, and WikiLeaks is also about data. This is the transparency. This is the number of documents, thousands of documents, billions of words that we can have an access to. And what to do with this? Technology also influences our culture, and this is something very important. For example, we live in a social media culture. Take a look. This is a screen. This was a screen taken yesterday in the evening, and take a look at the number of Lady Gaga viewers. 1,900,000,000, almost 2 billion views of Lady Gaga profile on YouTube. Imagine Shakespeare having YouTube, for example. Shakespeare was an artist that he was. Today when we are talking about Shakespeare, it's an art. But in his times, he was a common artist. I don't want to compare him to Lady Gaga, but imagine he has such a possibilities to spread his knowledge. Take a look at Ray William Johnson, for example. There is more than 300 million of his YouTube page views of his movies. That's something incredible. What does it mean? It does mean that culture and art is no longer for the elites. Access to culture is easy. We can have easily access to culture with due to technology, due to social media. We live also in a crowdsource culture. And this is the project that was run by TED, an artist called JR. He launched a project, Crowdsource project, built by many people that it was about, it was running this way that you could send him his story, your story, you could send him his photo. He was making a poster with this story, sending you back, and you need to show this poster in a place when you are living. And this was kind of a huge worldwide art exhibition. And it was, he started in 2 years ago, I think, and more than thousands of people were a part of this project. And this is a huge exhibition that was shot not in one place, but worldwide. And this is also this is also how our culture works right now. Another thing is that we are living in a mashup culture. All of you know this picture. It's a common poster. It's a common. It's taken from the Barack Obama campaign, but it was started to be distributed without any copyright. You could have changed it easily, because mashup culture means that copyrights are now changing. Lots of people around the world can change one's project into another. And I probably, many of you have seen such variations about this poster. But technology changes not only the culture and the world where we live in, but also the education. I've heard somewhere that today it's not a question of access to the knowledge, but we should ask ourselves and ask the students about how to find the proper knowledge. Because in the times of Google, people have access to everything what they want to. But the question is, how should we teach our children, how should we teach ourselves as society to find the proper sources of knowledge, to choose the better results? This is the question. For example, our schools, I have a 6-year-old son, so he's not taught how to use internet, how to use technology. My question is it right to learn by heart today? For example, when we were students, when we were pupils at school, we were learning by heart. But today, when we live in in a world with so much data, with so easy access to knowledge, is it still valid? And this is kind of a view for a today culture. We live in a data. We create a lot. We are living in a crowdsource culture based on social media, spread with social media, but this is changing because we cannot find proper sources, and new trends are showing that our condition in social media is also changing. This is what was described as the biggest trend for next year is content curation. Content curation means that we, as a people, as a society, are looking in a web for the authorities. Because internet, Google is not an authority. We are looking for the authorities. We are looking for the people that will choose for us the proper sources. This is one of the biggest trends. There's a lot of technology supporting this way of browsing the internet. The other trend is serendipity. Serendipity means happy accident. Take a look at how are we looking for the information on internet. We are in some social networks. For example, when I'm on Facebook, I have my list of friends, and all of my friends are interested in mostly the same hobbies as I am. That's why they are my friends. But this is, this works this way, that we have an ocean of knowledge, and we decrease our point of view only to our social networks. Serendipity is a technology that helps us jump from one society to another. What for? To find new sources of knowledge, to find new data, to find something interesting. And this is another trend. For example, there is a project called StumbleUpon, for example, that is using this technology, that is using serendipity. And I have a lot of friends that started once to jump from one picture to another, and they cannot stop. Because it's kind of, another point of view to what can we find for something that can help us find something interesting. Last trend that will be popular this year is social hacking. Because we are in the internet, we are looking for authorities, we are looking for some other things. But another thing is that we are looking for, we're trying to behave in a social good way. And this is it's a very popular trend right now, hacktivism. In USA, it's popular, but it's starting to be popular right now in Poland. It's doing together good things connected, because we are connected. There's a huge potential of ideas in the internet, and hacktivism means to develop this into action. And these three trends are very popular right now. Final remarks. Technology is something that interests me a lot. There's a lot going on. Every day I get to know new sources of information. I know new blogs, new technology solutions. But the question I want to ask you is, do we have more time due to technology? Or are we smarter due to technology? Or maybe we are more social or more connected? Are we? I think it's not the question of having more time or to be better connected to the people, but it's just what technology gives us. It's the way it is, and we cannot change it. We are different. The times are different. We live in times of data when we need to swim in this data, in the oceans of data, and we need to adjust. And society is something that is smart by itself, and that's it. And technology helps us do this. And the trends for the next year will try. I think it's gonna be that we will be adjusting all the time, all together. And I want you to know that we are changing, but the tools are changing. We as a society are just using new tools. But I think it's just that we are developing. And thank you for your attention. This is what I was trying to tell you. So thank you.